Do you have any of these self-sabotaging beliefs in the bedroom that are completely killing any arousal for both you and your partner? So let's start with the number one self-sabotaging belief that men have in the bedroom or around sex in general. Men will view sex as a reward for himself. Now, this fundamentally puts the woman on a pedestal sexually, and it puts you in a very supplicative, needy position psychologically when you view sex as a reward for yourself as the man in the relationship. And unfortunately, some women will utilize this and take advantage of this by leveraging sex in a relationship as a power tool to get what she wants out of the man. And ironically, any woman who does that, any woman who wields sexual power like that, is never going to be sexually satisfied with the man that she's doing it to. Men need to be aware of that. And you should be aware if you are viewing having sex with a particular woman as a reward for yourself for being a good boy, for doing the dishes, for taking the trash out, you've fundamentally got it ass backwards. And we'll get into that in a minute. Self-sabotaging belief number two. This thought of, if I lose my boner, it's over. End of the game. She will never respect me again. She'll never love me again. She'll never want to have sex with me again. She's gonna tell all her friends about how shit I am in bed, and they're gonna laugh about me behind my back. I'll never have sex with another woman ever again. That's the kind of thought pattern that can go through a lot of guys' heads when it comes to losing their erection during sex. I'm here to tell you guys to chill the fuck out about this. Almost every guy on the planet will have at least one experience during their lifetime where they don't get a boner when they want to. Now, typically this is just because of nervousness. And the key to this is it's not a big deal if you don't make it a big deal. We'll get into the solution to this, the antidote, a bit later. Ironically, it is one of the most self-fulfilling prophecies a man can have. If he's worried about not getting a boner, he ain't gonna get a boner, basically. Self-sabotaging belief number three is thinking that you have to please the woman sexually, that it's the be-all and end-all, that is somehow tied to your ego, your self-esteem, your self-belief in yourself sexually. Your sexual confidence, shall we say, is intimately tied to your ability to get a particular woman off in the bedroom. You're tying your self-esteem and your self-worth to her validation. And this is what I call the paradox of pleasing her. Once again, I'll talk about that just in a second. So what's the solution to the first self-sabotaging belief of viewing sex as a reward for you as the man? Well, you just flip that entirely on its head. You need to start viewing sex as a reward for her. She chose the correct man. She made the right decision. She gets your dick. You want her to look forward to sex more than you do, ideally. It's cocky, but it's confident. And there's nothing that women absolutely love more than a guy who is so self-assured of himself, but he also backs it up. And this also ties into female sexual psychology. A woman wants to be able to look up to the man that she's having sex with. That's arousing to her. She wants to be in that position of putting you on a pedestal sexually. And when you come across with the attitude, with the mindset of sex being a reward for her, well, a lot of these things psychologically fall into place correctly. You might even find yourself saying certain things that play into that dynamic as well. Like, for example, calling her a good girl. Solution for the limiting belief number two of worrying about losing your boner. Do not apologize if you lose your erection or if you can't get an erection in the first place because of nervousness. You have nothing to apologize for. Maybe you just had a rough, stressful day. Maybe your diet has been shit lately and that's causing some ramifications in your cardiovascular system. Maybe your cardio in general is lacking. You haven't been out for a run lately. Primarily, usually it's just stress-based. It's something external that is affecting your current state. It's not you, the person, that has a problem. So instead of focusing on it and creating this self-fulfilling prophecy like we talked about before, you need to give yourself permission to fail. It's not a big deal unless you make it a big deal. Funnily enough, if you interweave the occasional selfish sexual experience with consistently giving her good sex, what you actually do is you make yourself a bit of a sexual, emotional slot machine. She's never 100% sure exactly what experience she's going to get, but let's say like 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10 is an amazing experience, but then like 1 or 2 times out of 10 it's a whatever, more, you're having a more of a selfish experience and focusing less on giving her a mind-blowing night. This unpredictability actually makes you a more enjoyable, shall you say, addictive experience, and it actually gives her an ego boost during those times when, let's say, you're very, very selfish and you just let her get you off really quickly. When that is done like once or twice out of 10, this random thing, this less consistent thing, that actually allows her to have a sexual ego boost occasionally. She's like, ah, damn, I just got him off in like a couple of minutes. I do have it. You know, she's gonna have that gratification of being an object of your sexual desire. And the reason I bring it up is because, okay, let's say you might be having boner problems, you might be having a stressful day. Cool, man, just lay back and let her blow you. Let her get you off in a couple of minutes and have that selfish experience, giving yourself that permission to not be like 10 out of 10 performance every single time. And occasionally, just if you're really stressed out and you're not feeling it that day, just have a selfish experience every now and then. Now this ties into the solution for the third limiting belief in the bedroom, the limiting belief of needing her validation to appease your self-esteem and which is tied into your self-worth. And that is the paradox of pleasing her, which is the less you care about pleasing her, the more likely you actually are to get her off. Now, obviously you don't come as quickly as physically possible. You still have to have some staying power. When you take her with just passion, this animalistic passion, right? Rather than focusing on, putting her on a pedestal and focusing intensely on pleasing her, well, that actually allows her to get out of her head, allows her to relax. She doesn't feel anxious or worried or anything like that. She's letting you take control and lead. And that actually is more likely to get her off, because women can pick up on this instantly, almost like they're psychics. You coming across needing to get her off. Your whole self-worth is tied into your ability to make her orgasm. That, compared to being this passionate, lust-filled man who really doesn't care if he gets her off, that guy is actually way more likely to get her off because he's putting her in the correct psychological headspace. Now you might ask yourself, how the hell do I know this? Well, I spent quite a number of years working as a high-class male escort for wealthy women. Now, if you would like to learn some more of my insights from that time, well then you should check out this video right over there where I divulge some of these insights.